Do you have a leaky tub handle too? Does it look like this? Well, you are in the right place because we are going to fix it together. Congratulations on deciding to DIY this plumbing project. This has the potential to be a very easy fix and could save you a lot of money instead of hiring a plumber to change what could be a relatively easy repair. If you have a few hours, some practical knowledge, basic tools, and some patience, then you should be able to tackle this project. Now, I would recommend that you watch this video in its entirety to make sure that you have all the tools you'll need and that you're comfortable with the process and the procedures that we're going to be doing to fix this leaky tub handle. If for any reason you don't feel comfortable or you find out that there is actually water behind the shower wall, this may be an indication of underlying issues and you probably should contact a plumber in order to resolve deeper issues. Now, I've divided this video into chapters so that when you're ready to work on the project, you can skip to the part of the video that corresponds to the part that you're working on. And now we're going to go over some of the basic tools that you may already have that you'll need to complete this project. A Phillips head screwdriver, and this is going to be used to remove the handle, the faceplate, and attach the cartridge puller to the cartridge. Needle nose pliers, and this is going to be used to remove the locking clip that's holding the cartridge into place. You may or may not use regular pliers. You could use slip joint pliers, linesman's. You could use pretty much anything that you have. Doesn't really matter. Quick adjust groove lock pliers. You may have heard of something called channel locks. That's actually a brand. Those are the kind that have these locking grooves in them. But I prefer to use these. It's actually a quick adjust locking plier. I'll link to all these items in the description below if you wanted to add to your tool collection. And now that we already know which basic tools we have, we're gonna head to the home improvement store and get the rest of the parts that we'll need to replace the cartridge. Now keep in mind that the price will vary based on the brand and the model of faucet handle that you have. So the cartridge that's used in this handle is called the Moen 1200. It's a pretty common cartridge, but you may need a different one depending on your faucet assembly. The most important thing is to turn off the water lines before you get started on any plumbing project ever. So if your builder was conscientious and put valves in periodically throughout the house, you're really lucky. You could just trace the lines back that go to that faucet in particular and turn those off. In my case, I'm gonna have to turn off the entire main water source of the house. So the main water source is going to be where the water comes into the house, and it will go into a pressure tank, and it's also going to be by the water heater. So there's going to be a valve. When the valve is lined up with the direction of the water line, it means that the water is able to go through it. But when you turn it, this one is a quarter turn, so that way it's now perpendicular to the water line. That means that the water is stopped. So that means that you will not have any more water coming into the lines in your house. So now that we've turned off the valve to the main water source in the house, we're going to go upstairs and let out the water that's in the lines right now just by opening up the valve of the faucet. So hey, if you're getting value out of this video so far, could you go ahead and just hit the like button, give me a thumbs up. Let me know how this project is going for you and how'd you feel after you accomplished it. once you line up the alignment tabs of the cartridge puller with the cartridge that's in the valve, tighten this screw, and this is going to be screwing into the hole of the cartridge, which is also what your handle screws onto. So you don't want to over tighten this. And then once that is screwed in, you just screw this nut on and see if it's loose enough to pull out. Most likely it's not going to be, because it's been in there for a couple years. So what you're going to do is take them and open them up right about the size of the nut. And so we're going to turn it clockwise. And after about a full turn, go ahead and give it a pull straight out. Try it again. There it goes. Got it. Be prepared for that. Bought this house 7 years ago. It was in really, really bad shape. It was a foreclosure. But I changed out a lot, and I did change the cartridge out. And this is the one that I replaced it with about 6 years ago. So this has been in there for 6 years. And then I did change it out just about a couple months ago, maybe a month or two ago. So it did last about 6 years. So this is just to clean out the inside of the pipe. There's been some buildup of the grease from the first time I put that cartridge in a couple months ago. And I did just take it out just to do this demonstration because I wanted to show how easy it is. We're going to go ahead and install the new cartridge with our silicone grease. And it might come in a tube, it might come in a little container like this, which you want to use it on anything that has an O-ring. So we're going to take our new cartridge. So take a nice heaping bit of grease. So now that we put grease on all the O-rings, we're going to go ahead and put it back into the faucet assembly. You could use this little tool, just so it makes it easier to push in. So these little notches on the cartridge should be on the top and the bottom. So we're going to reinsert this locking clip. So what it's going to do is actually lock on both sides of those alignment tabs right there. So this is where this little tool comes into play. When you get your new cartridge, it's going to have this little plastic piece inside. So you're going to line it up with these little crosshairs that are in here to make sure that it's always aligned perfectly vertical and horizontal. So right now, that locking pin would not go in because these crosshairs are not quite horizontal and vertical. We'll take pliers and just turn that ever so slightly just to make sure that that is now perfectly straight. So now that we know our cartridge is in horizontal and vertical, we're going to take our locking clip that we took out earlier and put it back in from the top. And what that's going to do is it's going to go on either side of those alignment tabs and push back in. So you can just use something to tap it in. And it may be a little tricky if it's not exactly lined up. But you can see where it's going in and how it went on each side of those alignment tabs. See, it's getting there. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, tap, tap. Just give it a little love tap. It's not good. Oh, cool. Okay. So there you have it. Sometimes that retaining clip is a little tricky to put back in. So you want to open that slowly until the water goes through. All right, let's check and see how we did. Where's the handle? Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're just gonna test this out really quick just to make sure that everything works fine. Yep, everything's good. So we'll go ahead and put this sleeve back on and then the faceplate. Okay, now we'll put our handle back on. And there's going to be notches in the handle that will align with the notches in the cartridge. And that's how easy it is. When you get your new cartridge, this is the old one. There's going to be a little plastic piece in this with a Phillips head tip. It's going to be a Phillips head screwdriver. When you get your new cartridge, it's not in here. It is aligned perfectly horizontal. I always do that wrong. So ready to be done. Okay. It's going to be a great video though. It's going to be awesome.